Let's face it, there's all kinds of finishes that are on the market these days, and a lot of them work amazing. But to give you an old, antique, worn out feel, a stain alone is not going to do that. So I've been working the past few days on creating a new finish for my project, and I thought I might share that today with you guys. So this is actually a coffee bar that I'm working on right now, and as you look to the bottom, you can kind of see the outline of where two doors are going to be. Those are going to both open up, and then above that there's going to be a large drawer that's going to pull out. The whole thing is made out of 2x4s, but then on the outside I've been using pallets that I've planed out on my planer. And if you've never worked with pallets, they can be kind of challenging. They like to cup and bow really bad, and they're definitely pretty rough, so you have to run them through a planer or do lots of sanding. So anyway, this is what I'm actually wanting to stain, but today I wanted to focus on how I'm going to get that stain and what I've come up with, so let's take a look at that now. Alright, so I've got a piece of oak here just like the one we previously saw, and I've used it on the planer. One thing to note, whenever you're using the blowtorch and you get down in these cracks, it has a tendency to actually kind of light that on fire. So if you do this and then throw it in a pile and walk away, it may actually be on fire in there. So it's smoked a couple times. Sometimes I put it out with water, but sometimes I just kind of wipe glaze in there and it puts it out. But anyway, we'll get started and I'll show you what it looks like and how much to do here. This torch is kind of finicky, so if it goes out on me, we'll get it going again. Again, we're just trying to lightly do it. It actually looks cool if it's black in the cracks, but dead center if it's just jet black, it doesn't look as neat, I don't think. Alright, we'll try that. And I'll take a piece of sandpaper, and if you're like me, your orbital sander starts complaining that the sandpaper is getting pretty worn out, but really when you peel it off, there's still quite a bit of grit left, so knock down that, and then I come back and I'm just going to use a paper towel today. And there should be enough here on the lid. We can just wipe that in. Again, it really does a good job of soaking it up. So there really isn't a whole lot to just come back and wipe off. You can go as dark or as light as you want on this. Just try to get it in all the cracks. It really makes it look dirty. And I'm pretty much done, but I'm going to try to dry it off, and we're going to come back and we're just going to sand here on these areas to kind of lighten it up in spots. Okay, I'm going to cover this up so it doesn't get contaminated with sawdust. Grab my sandpaper again. Just kind of lighten up areas. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. It's definitely looking old and worn out. Then, it really shines when you do this. We take a little bit of lacquer and watch the color change on this. So there you go. Pretty neat effect, pretty cool looking. So if you guys like that, hopefully it helps you in your next project. If you guys have any good antiquing tips for me, please leave me a comment. I'd be interested to see it and try it, and I appreciate you guys watching. You guys have a great weekend. Hopefully I'll have this coffee bar out probably in the next weekend or two. And then hopefully you guys will get to see this new finish I'm working on. So this is the one we just made just a few minutes ago. The lacquer is coming out really nice on it, and it's almost dry. This is the one I originally showed you. You can tell that I've kind of sanded the lacquer back off of it, but it definitely looks nice. This one, same design. It's just, you know, the grain's going to be different on some of these pieces of wood. This one's a tighter grain. This one's definitely a looser grain. These are the two that really got me onto this whole idea. I was actually using a heat gun, and I was trying to heat it up, and I would get it really hot, and then I'd come back and try to wipe stain on, and vice versa. I'd wipe stain on first and then try heating it, and this one just kind of made a mess, and it just kind of blurred it. So if you do the glaze first and then you come back and use the heat gun, it didn't come out as neat. But maybe, I mean, you may have a project where that looks neat, but for this project it didn't look as good. This one, I was using this piece to test my nail gun. The nail gun kept jamming, and I can't tell if I'm getting nails or not coming out. So I was actually just laying this here and using it to test, and it's really neat because it's kind of got that weathered beat look, and I really like the nail holes on top of this. So Izzy Swan not long ago had a video out on finishing, and he used black spray paint, and he was mixing it with his finish and kind of wiping it all on at once, and it had a very similar effect to this. So you guys might try using something like that if you want to test it. But anyway, I really like this one because on the edges and stuff I sanded it down, and it really makes it look like it's 100 years old and it's been worn out by, you know, lots of people and stuff. So this piece really came out neat. I was using a heat gun back then. This was just a few days ago, and then I decided I might try the torch, and the torch is just way better. Same technique here. This is just a redder oak. And then we get down into these, and with these I was using the heat gun, and I'd stay in a place for a long time, and then I decided I'd try burning the piece to see what it looked like, you know. And I don't really particularly like it completely burned, and that was what I was trying to warn you of. It's hard to get that sanded back out. You don't ever get to see the grain again, so you might as well just paint it black if you really like that. But anyway, this has actually got a kind of a weathered look. This I actually had some vinegar and steel wool mixture together. It's been probably a couple months in the solution's been kind of hanging out, chilling, so it's pretty darn potent. It used to take like a day or two whenever I first made it to actually make it start turning gray, but now within probably the first minute or so you'll start getting a gray piece of wood. So the longer it sits, the more potent it gets. So anyway, guys, that's basically what I've been testing the last few days, and if you guys have any great tips, let me know. I'd be interested in trying some or learning some new ways. So thanks for watching.